Hey guys, what's up? My name's Theo. I'm due for a haircut on Wednesday, and I play middle linebacker for the Hilversum Hurricanes. That is in the Netherlands. That is in Europe. I play Europe ball. We are currently on Easter break of sorts. We had a game last Sunday, and it was against Rotterdam. A lot of guys are beat up. We didn't have practice on Thursday, so my Friday video was just news and comments. And today is actual Easter day, so we don't have practice today. Thursday, again, we will have practice, so the Friday video for this channel will be me going out to practice as well as comments and news. There is a bit of drums happening with it just doesn't look good. There's a bit of drums happening. I read an article about something about our old game in Groningen back in November, but then there's also some issues with their game against Flevoland, or the Almere team, at the beginning. I don't know how this is going. I need to hear more information. It may not even be in the news, Friday's video, because I might hear more. Then again, it might have nothing to do with it. Again, I'm due for a haircut, but yeah, I probably should find a different barber that doesn't schedule a week out, or I'm going to do it faster. Anyways, so today I made, a couple days ago, I made a joke TikTok, because if you're taking TikTok 100% seriously all the time, you're going to go crazy. So, but however, in all humor, there is an element of truth. So I made the TikTok that said, it was the prompt of, what's one thing you can say that would piss off white conservative Americans? And I said, not in terms of competition, but in terms of sportsmanship, American football is better in Europe. One of my Dutch followers actually asked, can you please explain that? Probably, I was like, okay. A little joke in my head is, okay, well, this is supposed to be a joke, but, then again, it's the Dutch. I can never tell if the Dutch are being the Dutch or neurodivergent, or both. So, anyways, so I'm bringing that one up today and kind of explain yourself. And what I mean by the fact that the sportsmanship is better is because it's, how do we say this in America to skirt all semblance of responsibility and fault on my part? All right, this is my opinion of my personal experiences, and you cannot judge me for what I have personally experienced. And this is not a wide, whatever, I don't care. I've played semi-pro in the Pacific Northwest, Portland, Oregon. Call me a dirty lib all you want, I don't care. But in the three or four teams that I was on there, and saw many other interactions with other teams, especially with other players who were playing on other teams, and talking about how things were going on within stuff. So the competition level is probably pretty high, obviously, in semi-pro and the NFL and college, for Christ's sake. Most D2 schools are just going to absolutely stomp the best German teams. So, go figure there. And Germany's like the highest, I think, in Europe. However, like I said, competition-wise, not an issue. Most of us are probably playing at a high school level, if not a little bit beyond, depending on, whatnot. And that's just how it is. The reason why I say that the sportsmanship is better is because in the States, people were either freshly coming out of high school and hadn't gone into college, or going to a community college, or didn't get recruited to a college, so we're playing semi-pro, perhaps, to get film, to get better at college, or all that happy jazz. Or maybe get recruited over into European play. However, there's a little trick to that one. You need to have a college career for that one. They'll take fresh out of high school, but you got to be fresh out of high school. It's not impossible, but a college career, is. But anyways, the guys at semi-pro are either reliving their childhood, righting the wrongs that never fulfilled in high school, or they're trying to, freshly out of high school, trying to see if they can get better into something. And rarely in semi-pro, in the teams that I experienced, were people playing it as a hobby, like an extracurricular activity. They were playing it for a selfish reason. So they went into practices and they chatted with people like coworkers. They chatted with people like you are a means to an end, for instance. However, here in Europe, in many of the higher leagues, we had a couple players go over and do some German GFL 1 lineman positions, and even they were kind of saying that sometimes a bunch of the skill players in the GFL, specifically the import players, I mean, they are hired after all, but it's different because unless you are at the super high leagues of like, you know, the levels like GFL 1, the ELF, perhaps the upper Polish and Italian leagues, maybe France, maybe. Everyone does this as a hobby. And most people, like most teams have a semblance of a youth team, but it's still football or foosball or soccer, however you guys want to call that name. But that's what it is. That's the primary thing here. What people, you aren't really going to find guys in the States that are able to take a oblong football and kick it around like a soccer ball deftly. Like do the little like hacky sack tricks. You're not going to find many of them. I'm not saying it's not there, but you know, let's deal with absolutes here on the internet, I guess. Anyways, so this is sort of a relaxed day. It's just me sitting in front of oh, that looks nice. Anyways, so like I said, the sportsmanship, everyone's doing it as a hobby. People pay to be a part of the club because the systems here overall work different. There are clubs. In the States, y'all call it rec leagues, recreation leagues. And when you see a bunch of 30-year-olds playing soccer or doing baseball, you're like, oh, it's a recreational league because ageism is beyond all belief. However, many people, specifically here on my team, like they did play a bit of youth, but many of them are not even until like their mid-20s until they even start playing football, American football. Like Ilya, who's been at 2 games and a bunch of practices. He's got a little 4-year-old kid. He's Russian. He's been living in the Netherlands for about 5 years. 3 or 5 years. I already forget. He's never played the sport before, I don't think. He's clueless on how to do things and is just like running at things great. Many times we have people who went through the sports medicine or the sports category for fitness and stuff, to be like either a physio or to be on a physical trainer or something like that, because that's an actual university path here. And so they'll have an idea about football, or they'll have friends that came over and talked about football, and maybe they'll play flag and all that jazz. Like flag's a big thing here, but American football, at least in the Netherlands, not. So when you have a really minor sport in comparison to other things, korfball, ball sitten, canal jumping, so you tend to be a little bit more tight-knit of a community. You're nicer even to the opposing teams. Whereas back in the States, people were friends with people on the other team, only if they were like longtime friends from like high school. But now they live in different parts of the city because they've never really left Portland. So one of them lives on the west side, so they play for the west side team. The other one lives on the east side, so they play for the east side team. And then after a name, they get together. But like all the players are not very meshed in with each other. I'm not saying everyone here in Europe is perfect either. There are some that are out there that are business oriented, but by and large, 80% are in it for hobby. It's extracurricular. It's at least, and here in the Netherlands, it is your chosen form of fitness. You can play football, you can rollerblade, you can BMX race, you can kite surfing, you can supboard, you can kayak, canoe, you can do a lot of things. Handball, basketball, hard loping, all these various things for fitness. And there's a club for it, and you can do it. There's fight clubs. Don't think that stupid movie. Like, these things are like MMA clubs. Like, there's 3 of them in Amsterdam. There you go. Krav Maga, MMA, all that jazz. There's a game for old people. I call it for old people. I see a lot of people called pétanque. It's basically throwing steel balls like shuffleboard, but it involves sand. It's shuffleboard for people that can still throw, kind of. But anyways, it has weird rules. Maybe if we have another weird off day, I can talk about all the funky sports that I've understood here. But yes, that's it. The reason why I say the sportsmanship is better here is because in Europe, it's a minor sport, and people are not utilizing the sport to get further in a career. They're trying to stay socialized. And I say fitness is just getting out and being around other people. Just doing your best, becoming a better version of your position, like linebacker, a better version of yourself as a person, interacting with others and not being overly offensive. I mean, there's the Dutch, but that's pretty much that. And if you have any questions about this, or you want to flame me in the comments because I don't know what I'm talking about, because all I did was play semi-pro and I don't understand high school football, we can discuss that one down below. I've had long talks with people who played high school football. And I'm still not in the wrong. I will catch you guys on Friday for football video. I do vlog again every other day of the week, but things are going weird, so yeah.